On October 11th of 2015, my daughter got sick in our bed. We had gotten everything cleaned up, put her back to bed, got the sheets in the washing machine, and went back to bed, and then got up at a more decent hour, came out to the kitchen, and it was flooded.
We got it cleaned up and got it all kind of, the water cleaned up, and we're starting to troubleshoot and figure out, what exactly was wrong with the washing machine. Turned it back on and it started shooting water out the front end. It's like, oh, whoa, stop. And Heather jumped and caught herself and started talking about feeling funny.
I came back out to the living room and was like, I'm just gonna sit down. This is gonna go away. It's nothing. Put my feet up, but it just kept getting worse. More like pressure around my chest, like someone was tightening a corset. It started to radiate down both arms to the point where my hands started to get tingly.
She got kind of wobbly and I grabbed her hand. Her hand was ice cold. And I was like, okay, there's something not right here.
In the back of my mind, I thought this is like a heart attack, but I was 34. I had been training for a half marathon. I had 2 kids. I was healthy, but it just wouldn't go away. Finally, I told him yes. Call an ambulance, because I didn't know what was going on.
That 10 minutes, it took for them to get there was forever. And when they finally got there, they ran the EKG, and I saw on their faces, I was like, oh no. It
was irregular, and they told me, yes, Heather, you're having a heart attack.
And one of them said something, okay, we're calling the hospital, we're going to bring her in, and the paramedic Nick said, no, we need a helicopter here.
The whole time, the only thing I could think about was my kids. They were 1 and 3 at the time, and they needed their mommy. No, I'm 34. I am young, I'm healthy. I can't be having a heart attack. It's not possible. When we got to the cath lab, the doctor came in and told us that I had what was called a spontaneous coronary artery dissection. There was talk of bypass surgery right away, but the cardiologist had talked with another surgeon that had said, it'd be better if we could wait. The doctors were always looking for this ray of hope. Okay, maybe it's going to heal itself, and okay, it's going to heal itself, and she's going to be okay, and the scar tissue is going to be stronger, and then anything they do with surgery. So I remember thinking, okay, this is we're not going to have surgery. We're gonna heal, and that didn't happen. I mean, that being really hard. I broke down then. We did another catheterization, and they found that it had actually occluded farther down the LAD, so the tear was getting worse. The next morning, I went in for a double bypass surgery. I had lots of visitors, but the kids came every few days. Bo, he was 1, almost 2 at the time. He was scared because I did have a heart monitor on all the time and IVs. Eloise was very curious about what was going on. She still asks, Daddy, why is Mommy's heart broken? The question gets easier now, but I remember the first couple times I heard it, it always got me because I didn't know. Even though that they had both had 30 years of experience, I was their first SCAD that either the cardiologist or the surgeon had. It's not a common problem. This can happen to anyone, and it does mostly happen to young, healthy women that are moms and sisters and wives. If I can just share that story with one other person so that they know, listen to your body and know that if something's wrong, you need to do something about it. I did the right thing, and I had my husband call 911. The doctors, the nurses, they told me that I don't know how many times, whatever those EMTs, however they got that helicopter there, thank God they did, because I wouldn't be here if they hadn't.
I'm thankful that our washing machine exploded, and I had to clean up all that water. And I really think that if it hadn't, it could have happened when she was out running, and it wouldn't be talking about her being a survivor. It'd been much different. Giving
to the American Heart Association, it goes to research, and that to me is huge, just because SCAD and the things that I had are very uncommon. There's not a lot of research out there, and that research is funded by those things. And the more research there is, the more doctors will be aware, and it hopefully won't happen to somebody else later. It won't happen to my daughter. But if it does, doctors will be aware and recognize it, and more people will live.
There's lots of people that owe their lives to the American Heart Association, the research they've done, including my wife, and I thank them for that, and that doing the donations really helps that happen, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart.